Hi, and I'm seeing that I'm wearing today the same suit I'm having on the peak, so probably you may assume that I'm having only one suit. So, first impression, well done. I will go straight to the presentation. Can you imagine that in Middle Ages, there was a belief that there are witches in the world? And, well, basically, there were the whole science behind on how to discover if a woman is a witch. Because, we had the privilege at that time and only women could have been a witch. So one of the evidence-driving tests was so-called water test. So a woman that had been suspected to be a witch was to be thrown to the river with her legs and arms tied, and staying on the surface, surviving, was an evidence that woman was a witch. Sinking was evidence that woman was innocent, but, still dead, yeah? Bit later, until 19th century, there was a belief and a practice that practice of phlebotomy. So it was bloodletting that was very that was assumed as a very cool and efficient method of healing and preventing many diseases. And there was this whole academic world standing behind, universities, yeah? And that healing method had been applied, among others, for example, to George Washington after his accident during horse ride. So 1.7 liters of blood had been released at that time to heal him. But then it had been recognized that was the cause of his death in 1799. And, super recently, like in 80s of 20th century, there had been a belief and a practice to teach a newborn infant that crying and screaming is not a method of earning attention of caregivers. So the method was not to react when baby is crying. According to the current state of psychology, we know that such techniques, lack of reaction when baby is crying, is basically causing abandon syndrome. And abandon syndrome stays in a body and psyche for whole life. So, as you can see, not everything we as human believed in turned out afterwards to be true and good. And probably not everything we assume to be true and good now will turn out to be true and good in the future. Why am I telling you this? Because I believe that you are all here for a reason, and I'm also here for a reason. We're all searching for tips, recipes, advices. We're all searching for some how to build my career, how to lead the team, how to become better manager, how to solve a challenging situation in my team, how to go through the change. Yeah, and it's like searching for recipes is all good, but history shows that relying in 100% for up-to-date recipes doesn't always bring good results. So therefore, instead of giving you recipes, I would like to invite you to apply an open-minded, still a bit critical approach while going through current trends and all that brilliant, how-to advices. Hi. My name is Karolina. I am a marketeer and a business generalist. I am a team leader and agent of many transformations. I'm in business for over 15 years now. And due to some recent successes in leading people, mirrored by super high eNPS, so employees engagement score I got recently, I've been invited by organizers of this wonderful conference to talk about leadership and people management. But I'm not here to give you any ready now solutions. I won't copy paste any of these, leadership academic thoughts that are like present in social media and in internet. Instead, I would like to share with you some of my, in theory, yes, but in practice, not really moments, to inspire you, to inspire that open-minded approach, alertness, and I call it healthy critical sense. Why? Because I believe that leadership is very individual journey, and I believe it is your journey. It is your journey because you are starting from the very unique point of your very unique psyche, very unique background, very unique environment. Then you enter with this setup to the very unique setup of your partners, colleagues, business environment, conditions, external factors. So it's only you who knows like the best how to shape it and how to navigate that world. And I am humble enough not to say, it's easy, I done this, just follow this and just do it. So I'm currently holding a position of marketing director for Eastern Europe for Pandora Jewelry for over 6 years now. I'm leading a team of 20 reports. And in 2023, I had been honored, blessed, call it how you want, consistently throughout the year. I was finding on a dashboard reporting results of employees engagement surveys, so-called eNPS, eNPS of 100 of my direct reports and also like almost 100 of the whole team. And eNPS is a metric, is a KPI that my company is using to monitor the engagement of employees. So it consolidates different aspects of employee satisfaction, such as belief in a brand, belief in an organization, belief in leadership, engagement, loyalty, liking the state of today, and also a vision for tomorrow. And eNPS can be everything from minus 100 when it's like super shitty, and up to 100 when it is like super cool and everybody is in. Yeah. So eNPS of 100 is a big deal. And such eNPS of 100 may seem like a holy grail, a goal every leader is wishing for and fighting for. In theory, yes. But in practice, in fact, 2023, so the year of that kind of eNPS and the year of super cool engagement and feeling of people that it's good, was the most challenging for me as a leader in terms of people management. I'm in a business at that position for 6 years now, and we went through many challenging projects, many crises, and like really shitty situations. So, for example, in 2019, there were some organizational changes in my company, and we needed to take over marketing services for 20 additional markets of Middle East and Africa, so quite exotic, I would say. We needed to do it in just 2 months. So 2 months from announcement of the decision to full operational control, and within the same team. So no extra headcount. So you can imagine this is, yay, we can do this. No, this is not the way people are reacting for this kind of challenges. In 2020, due to pandemic, we of course needed to go through the hell like everybody else did, while at the same time trying to keep alive business in retail industry. very much based on offline stores. And in 2022, due to Russian invasion on Ukraine, we needed to deal with the shock, of course, like first, and all the emotions connected to that situation as humans. While at the same time, we're of course trying to close the business goals for the Eastern European cluster. Eastern European cluster very much relying on Russia and Ukraine as our key markets. So, these kind of situations and challenges were impacting negatively people well-being, people engagement, people motivation, and eNPS in the end, yeah? But frankly, these years and these challenges, which are much more easier for me as a manager, rather than, super stable 2023 when like everything is more or less fine. Why? Because the answer is human psychology. When facing a crisis, we as humans tend to stick more to the group. When facing crisis, challenge, we develop sense of togetherness. We engage more in a common goal in order to survive. Yes, of course, but we engage more with others. While in carefree time, we go rather, individualistic. We care more about our field and next slide. And so the crisis creates a bit of trouble, and the bit of trouble promotes togetherness. So when facing the crisis, people get together is one thing, but also when facing the crisis, people react a bit differently on a leader. They accept more authority. They accept more guidance from the leader. So, when there is a crisis, when there is lack of stability, uncertain situation, people like to find and concentrate around a leader. Why? Because he or she can take up some decisions. She can take up part of risk, part of responsibility. So there is much more of, okay, boss, what I'm supposed to do? I just follow. You tell me I'm doing, yeah? So it's just acceptance of the guidance of the leader. While in a carefree time, everybody wants to be a boss. It's like everybody wants to express opinion, perspective, have the influence. Why? Because when there is, stable situation, the risk is very low, or there is no risk. So it is not fighting for survival. It is like rather fighting for getting more for myself. Yeah. So all these things, the challenges, makes not only leaders' job easier, but also supports sense of belonging and engagement. The explanation for this is psychology, and the term which is called psychological diversity. So we are more happy when we have psychological diversity. So we can feel that there is a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. Not too bad, just a little bit. So this is why, for instance, this is one of the reasons boredom is one of the reasons relationship break. It's all good. We don't have like much problems. The problem is it's boring. We don't have like, these emotions in there. And when a couple in crisis goes to therapy, there is no, do more of this pleasant thing you used to do, your pleasant rituals, etc. No, instead, the advice is do something out of the box. Go to the contemporary art exhibition that is so crazy, you don't like it. You don't like it. So that you have the reason afterwards to talk the whole night how bad it was. Yeah, this is something that creates emotion and is like bounding us together. So having that in mind, this, come on, this psychological diversity rule. I think this is very interesting insight for us as leader, because we are not completely different at work than we are in like real life. Let's say we do not leave our psyche when entering the office. Yeah. So when thinking about eNPS and people engagement and the whole being, I think it's also useful to have in mind how our psychology works and to be aware of what we are wishing for. And then the next thing is to be aware what we are wished to be, or what we are expected to be, what we are told to be. Because in the era of internet and social media, we are basically bumped with ideas who we should be in order to be a good leader. Yeah. So there are like many ideas, and on the other side, reaching knowledge on most up-to-date trends in any given area. Also, leadership is a piece of cake. So, but having this, I think that you have heard such terms like servant leaderships, empathy. So leadership based on empathy, leadership embracing diversity and inclusion. Yeah. So these are like the most trending terms in leadership now. Servant leadership is a philosophy in which goal of a leader is to serve instead of people working for a leader. There is a leader who exists to serve people. Yeah. Empathic leadership, very much connected to understanding others, like feeling by a leader how to be in others' shoes, with the sense of lots of sensitivity and caring. And of course, leadership embracing diversity and inclusion, so creating more space for different perspective, mindsets, feelings, etc., but also embracing minorities. Yeah. And yes, I think there are all super cool concepts, super modern, shaping more human workplaces, finally, yeah. Uplifting rule of the human in the organization versus business goals, yeah, because recently it was like business goals is the most important. Now we are trying to incorporate also the human factor, and like this is super good. And this is also helping us to exclude or minimize at least negative impact of authoritarian directive leadership. So, yes. And from my side as a leader, I will also say that there is super cool side effect for a leader, because leader within servant leadership becomes more likable. So leader can feel is more liked. And you may say, okay, that's not super important because the most important thing is how people are feeling. Yeah, but leaders are also like the population of humans. And everybody who at least once tried to manage team knows the feeling of loneliness and knows the feeling of having on arms the weight of sometimes very unpopular decisions. So, being now the one within the servant leadership who is rather helping, advising people is like much greater place to be as a human, as a leader, yeah? So again, yes. But in my practice, there are some dangers or risks or dark sides I have already felt on my skin when applying this concept, regardless the situation and conditions. So one is very much connected to the theme of the conference and why you are here. So very specific situation of women in leadership. So in macro scale, senior leadership is, and all like the managerial positions are held mainly by men. Yeah, like these are the statistics for now. So therefore, leadership, as for now, has been very much dominated by some, let's say, male features like charisma, courage, domination, self-confidence, power, maybe also a little bit of aggression. Yeah, this is how we recall when we think about leadership. And then, of course, there are some women in senior leadership positions also, but when a woman is entering that world, she needs to present more of the male features in order to play with boys, just to be accepted and to, have the same power and the same tools, yeah? So when we are now introducing the servant leadership, I think it's good because we are bringing to the pool more of the female features. Female features as diplomacy, caring, readiness to serve, sensitivity, yeah? Also listening, also mindfulness. Yeah, it's good. But we need to remember that we are having different starting points. So due to some culture patterns and due to the way girls and boys are being raised, we do not enter the boardroom with the same mindsets and same equipment, I would say. So from my experience, when working with women and men in my team, I'm seeing that women are much more equipped already with readiness to serve, with readiness to care for each other, with diplomacy, empathy, sensitivity, etc. So what women miss is rather being more assertive, being more bold, being more charismatic, yeah, be like more courage. So like completely opposite to what is in a trend. And I'm not telling you this just to, discard the trend of servant leadership. Just to say that when we are thinking about the future career and when we as leaders trying to help others to create their careers, we need to remember about the starting point. So again, leadership is very individual journey, and we need to first identify the starting point to know what to add there. Yeah. So do not follow straight away. I need to be in servant leadership because this is how it's the best now. So this is one thing. And yeah, when I'm working with women on their development and career progression paths, in many cases I say, be less empathic, be less servant, or you will die. Yeah. And the other aspect I want to highlight here, I'm saying absolutely no-go to, is how to build it. Diversity and inclusion are a great movement. They are socially important and helping in building more diverse, complementary teams. But also they are helping in building better visions and solutions powered by different perspectives, mindset, background, skills. Yeah, so there is a power in that. But I think it is very naive to believe that there is only good in the world. Diverse, in different shapes, but good. Yeah, like everybody is good. The fact is 1 to 5% of world population is having narcissistic disorder, which is permanent, super toxic personality disorder, a pathology, yeah? Leading to gaslighting others, burning out others, ruining others. So, there are sociopaths and psychopaths in the world. And I think that diversity and inclusion trend can open doors for them and create even more acceptance, because now we are, accepting everybody, and with their mindsets and feelings, etc. And here, in my opinion, is the limit of diversity and inclusion. And it is still very shitty, sorry, a leader's role not to accept everything, to set boundaries, and to make tough decisions of not embracing everything that is there in the pool, to expel toxicity from the system or the team. Because we can practice our tolerance and acceptance for others, but workplace is not a kindergarten. It's not the psychological disorders clinic, and it is still leaders' role to keep an eye on that and maintain like the healthy environment. Yeah. So with this, I would like to say good luck with your leadership journeys. And because there are like many sessions throughout the day, I'm not trying to tell you by this presentation, don't listen to all these tips and advices. And I would say opposite. Listen as much as possible, learn as much as possible, but just keep your healthy, critical sense. Use your wisdom, use your intuition, because you are having like the very unique entering point you only are aware of. So good luck. And I'm here for the questions.